My name is Jose Gabriel Criollo. I am the Institutional Development Director of the World Scout Bureau Inter-American Support Center. Right now, we are broadcasting from our headquarters in Panama City, in the City of Knowledge. Today is the last session for the 5PtoGrow campaign, the five regional policies to grow, to help the National Scout organizations to grow. And the last session of today will be about the institutional development policy. Okay, so we want to start right now. Okay, let me share my computer. Wow. Here we are looking for the I don't know what is happening here. We have a technical trouble. Wow. If Laura can help me, please, to share, to solve this trouble, because I can share the window. I can share the screen. Please, I prefer. Thank you, Laura. Because Laura will support us sharing the screen to can start with the presentation of today. I ask for a few minutes. Okay, Laura is almost ready. Okay. Wow. This is going to infinity. I can see the presentation.
Now?
Okay. Now, perfectly. You're a genius, Laura. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, my darling. As I say before, my name is Jose Gabriel Criollo. I am the Institutional Development Director of the World Scout Bureau Inter-American Support Center. And we are working today into the framework of the 5PtoGrow campaign. The subject of the presentation of today will be about the Inter-American Institutional Development Policy, as you can see on your screens. So if we are ready, Laura, we can move forward, please. Thank you so much. Okay. The first thing we need to know is about the definition of institutional development. As you can see, institutional development is the area that's dedicated to work on promoting progress and integral growth of the institution so that each day it can fulfill better its social function through the application of its own program and method. Of course, we are talking about a youth program and a scout method. Okay. Every single time we talk about institutional development is the image you can see at the screen is something like a concierge, because we like to think we are as the concierge of the institution, because we are responsible to make everything work very well, to provide the best services necessary to the core business of the organization. Of course, it's youth program, and to the right arm of the core business is adults in scouting. We work for them. We create the best conditions as is possible to make it, then they do their job in the best way as is possible. So we can move forward, Laura, please, to the next. Thank you so much. Now we want to talk about the purpose of the institutional development policy. This policy identifies the management fields, the fundamentals, and the good practice, articulating them among themselves in the institutional space to lend the Scout movement the support that it requires. And it expresses the master lines that orientate the work of the bodies of the integrate that space. The purpose of this policy is identify the job we need to do and the guidelines to do that job. As we can see on the next screen, we will talk about the structure of the policy. Next, please, Laura. Okay, thank you. Before to talk about the structure of the policy, it's important to know the step to build and approve a national policy. Not only institutional development policy, a general national policy for any national Scout organization. Youth program policy, adults in scouting policy. We have a trouble. Thank you so much. Institutional development policy and any other kind of policy the national Scout organizations want to have and need to approve. Okay, the first thing, the first step in this process is know the world and regional regulations and policies. Okay, it's very important to be very well informed about all the regulations and about all the policies existing before to start to work on the development of any kind of policy. In this case, in a policy of institutional development. The second step is formulate a draft of the national policy in the line with the world and regional regulations and policy. That's R&P, okay? This part of the job is very important and we recommend very serious. This step need to be developed by the executive team, okay? The executive team of the National Scout Organization. The lead of this team is the National Executive Director of the National Chief Commissioner, as any kind of any National Scout Organization call this position. Doesn't matter. But what is important, this process will be led by this character. Is our recommendation, of course. The third step is present the national policy to the government body for the approval. In several cases, the national government body have the power to approve the national policy. In other cases, we need another step, is the approval of the national policy for the government body and or the National Assembly. As everybody knows, the National Assembly is the principal space and organism to take decisions into the National Scout Organization. For that reason, in some cases, according to their own regulations, in some NSOs, is important or is required the final approval for any national policy will be provided by the National Assembly. After we have a national policy in force, approved by the correspondent level, national government body or National Assembly, we need to start to spread the policy into the National Scout organizations at all levels. This is a very important part of the job, and this job needs to be led by the executive team and the structure team. As you know, every single one National Scout organization have a structure. That structure could have 1, 2, 3, or 4 different levels. It depends of the how big is the National Scout organization, how big is the country where the National Scout organization works. Many National Scout organizations have more structural levels than the other ones. But what is common is every single National Scout organization have at least two levels, the Scout group level and the national level. In this part of the job about the build and approve and put into force the national policy is spread the policy into the National Scout organization at all levels, because institutional development policy in this case is a policy for all the National Scout organization. The first level of the people who are on charge to apply and to work with this national policy is the coordinator of the scout group, the scout group chief of the people in charge to coordinate the scout group. This is our first level of institutional adults. Why they are this first level of the institutional adults into the organization? Because they don't work directly with youth people, and they work especially with other adults. When we are working only with adults, we are working into the institutional spaces of the National Scout organization. In this case, in the case of the Scout group leader or the Scout group director, or the name any single National Scout organization provide to this position, this person is the responsible to apply and to know and to spread the institutional development policy at national level. This policy applies since the position of the Scout group leader until the National Assembly. All the people work on these levels, on district levels, on regional levels, at national levels, at the government body at national level, and even the people when they are working into the National Assembly, they need to apply the institutional development policy. We are the subjects of the institutional development policy. Okay? The next one, please, Laura. Okay, I prefer to move to the next one again, because the next one, I feel we lost the structure of the institutional development policy. Okay, stay there. Okay. The regional institutional development policy have a core. That core have three different elements. The first one of them is what we call it management fields. The management fields are defined accordance the subjects they work directly. Okay, we have 8 of them. The first one is governance. Into the management field of governance, we have a structure, organism, a regulatory framework, and strategic planning. That is the task on charge of the governance management field. That is the first management field of the institutional development policy. The second one is administrations. Administrations is the perspective of the resources. How much money we have, where is that money, how we handle that money, how we present the accountability about the use of this money, and other kind of resources, physical resources, and another ones. Is the people on charge of administration directly. That is the second management field. The third management field is funds mobilization, what we call it in financial development. Every single one National Scout organization need to looking for more money than they have from the regular incomes, because this task we accept to create a better world is a very expensive task. So our regular incomes is very weird, will be enough, provide to us enough money to accomplish our mission. For that reason, we need to have a team of people working to looking for more funds, for more resources to apply to the accomplish of the mission. The fourth management field we have is communication and interinstitutional relations. Our institution is not alone in the world. We are part of the society. We need to work with other institutions and with other actors of the society, government, church, institutional educations, private sector, another organization of the third sector. We need to talk with them and work with them, because the society move through the work of a lot of actors. We are just another one of them, and we need to looking for them to work together to achieve our goals together. That is the issue about interinstitutional relations. And communications, we need to be very clear. We always need to communicate what we are doing. When we do that, we have two different audience, internal audience and external audience. Into the internal audience, we have our membership. Into the external audience, we need to communicate what we are doing to the society in the big way, starting with the governments. We need to be always into account our partners, especially the parents of our youth people, and many other others, many other actors. So we need to communicate with all of them what we are doing and how we are doing that, to the internal audience and to the external audience. That is the subject of communications. The other management field is international relations. We are a global movement. We work in more than 169 countries. We are member of the United Nations as a consultancy body. So we need to start to work into the international sphere, because we are an international actor. In the past, our international commissioner is only dedicated to keep the contact with the regional level and the world level of the World Organization of Scout Movement. Through the policy of institutional development, we are invited these actors into the National Scout Organization to widen their reach and to actors. For example, the diplomatic corps present in their countries, with the multilateral organisms as Inter-American Development Bank and another ones like that, because we are an international actor like them. So we need to talk with them, we need to work with them, and we need to have present these another actors can provide to us a lot of resources to accomplish our mission. For that reason, it's very important touch them, start to talk with them, and to open and to create common goals to work together. The other management field is operations. Operations is one of the most important management field we have, because the first task is on charge of operations is to keep updated the register of our membership. That is what we call our nervous system, because we need to be very accurate about how many peoples we have, what are their age, where they are, how many adults we have, what is the level of the progress of their education as adult leaders for WASM. So this is a part of the task of the operations. The other part of the task of operation is to provide support directly on the field to the scout groups and to the all different levels of the National Scout Organization. For example, districts, zones, regions, or any other ones any single National Scout Organization have. This is the reason why operation is very important. Operation is like a long arm we have to provide directly support and to keep updated our internal register of our membership. This is very important because if we have good information, we can take good decisions. So the register of the National Scout Organization is a key factor of the success. In other presentations, we will be very happy to talk more about this because this is a very strategic issue to have a good performance into the National Scout Organizations. The other management field is an issue, is on charge of an issue we have lost for a long time, is risk management. Into the risk management, we need to take into account three different kinds of assets. Our youth people, that because they are our most valuable resource, and our objective, work with them and to provide to them the scouting and great experience, the great educational experience. We need to work about the risk management of our adults. And recently, during the last World Scout Conference, we approved the world policy of safe from harm. This policy is absolutely dedicated to create a safe environment for everyone who takes part into the scouting. The other part of risk management is about the management about the institution by itself. Financial risk and other kind of risk, for example, moral risk about the name and about the good image we need to have in every single moment in front of the society. Because if we love our credibility, neither one parent could bring to us our youth people, our childs, to take part into the scouting. So when we talk about risk management, we need to have a very wide view and a very wide perspective about the risk management of the institution. So in our experience, this is a management field we are not handled so well. So we need to work hard on this to put this management field on time. And the last management field is ethics and audit. Is what we call it as our internal control of audits and our ethics internal organization control, like a national court of honors to provide recognitions and in some cases to apply the disciplinary regulations in case of someone broke it, the rules. These are the 8 management fields. The other part is very important into the institutional development policy is the fundamentals of it. We have 4 fundamentals. The first one of them is democracy. Our institution is absolutely democratic. But we need to be very careful when we talk about democracy. Democracy is something bigger than they make elections to appoint people to take some places into the government body. Democracy is more about is about a culture of respect of the different opinion, is a culture of respect of the minorities, is about our behavior. We need to have a very democratic behavior in every single time, in every single thing we do into the scouting. So for that reason, democracy is our first fundamental. The second one is surrounding and keeping update. We need to be always present. We are not alone in the world. We are just not another part of the world. We are just another institution of the society. Outside of scouting, we have another reality. We have families, we have schools, we have government, we have neighborhoods, we have a lot of spaces with reality. We need to be very aware about what is happening there. We need to be very aware about what these spaces and these actors are demand from the scouting and from our membership to provide answer to that actors and to that spaces. And we need to create our own questions to these other actors and to the society and to these spaces, because scouting need to work with them, because we are just another part of a big puzzle is the world. So the fundamental of surrounding and keeping update is to remember us, we are just another part of the big puzzle is on progress on the world. The third fundamental is service and support and integrity. As we saw, into the first share, we are something like a concierge. So this fundamental is to remember we are here to serve, to offer a service to the institution. We are here not to be served for any other parts of the institution. We are here to provide services and to provide support. And we need to do this into integrally way. We need to provide the best conditions to educational methods area, youth program, and adults in scouting to achieve the mission of a scout movement. So this fundamental is to remember this. And the last fundamental is orientations to results and impact. Every single task we do, every single initiative we put on march, every single strategy we design, we need to have all of them oriented to produce results and to create a positive impact. So we need to measure that. We need to be aware about the results, because we need to improve day by day. When we start to see and to talk about this part of the presentation, I say to everyone, we have three key elements into the institutional development policy. The first one, as you can see, is the management fields. We have 8 of them. That is the task we need to do. The second key element is the fundamentals of the institutional development. These are the guidelines about how we will do our task. And we have A third element, a third key factor. Laura, if we can move forward to the next one. Thank you. The third factor is what we call it BP, but we are not calling about Baden-Powell. We are calling about best practice. So in this graphic, we can see how institutional development policy is equal to management field plus fundamentals raised to best practice. When we have our 8 management field working very well, when we are applying the 4 fundamentals of the institutional development, we can start to create and to apply the best practice. The best practice is the key of success for any national organization. The best practice is the best way how we can do every single task. We need to be very aware to identify the best practice. We can develop our own best practice, or we can learn about other organizations, in several cases, another national scout organization, about their success, what they are doing very well, to learn how they are doing that, to apply that knowledge to our own business. So the best practice is the key of success, because for that reason, we can see institutional development is equal to management fields. Remember that they are 8 plus fundamentals of institutional development. Remember they are 4. Rise it to the power of BP. But remember, we are in this time, we are not talking about Baden-Powell. We are talking about best practice. Okay. Next one, Laura, please. Thank you. That is the policy of institutional development, but the policy by itself is not complete. We need to provide another elements, what we call it policy models of application, to put the policy into the practice. The first one of these elements is what we call it the good governance model of WASM. According to this model, we have a government body separated from the executive body. These two bodies are responsible to keep the national organization working and to rise and to accomplish the mission of the Scout movement. In other presentations, in other times, we can talk more with more details about the good governance model of World Organization of Scout Movement. The WASM good governance model is expressed into the World Constitution and into the regional constitution. Okay? For the next period, we will work to develop a special document to develop the ideas and to talk with more details about the good governance model. But what we need to be very aware is we have 2 different arms responsible to accomplish the same mission. The right arm is the government body, the left arm is the executive body, and these 2 bodies need to work together in a coordinated way and in a complementary way. Other piece very important of the model of the institutional development policy application is the finance model. According to this model, every single Scout organization have 3 different sources of incomes. Their own incomes, the incomes provided by their own business, and other incomes. Our own incomes are the fees paid by the membership. Our own business are the resources provided by, for example, our National Scout Shop, from our rents, from our interest, or any other kind of business we can develop. For example, the national events for youth and for adults. And the others source of incomes are, for example, if the government, through any kind of these institutions, provide some resources for the National Scout Organization, or if the National Scout Organization receive a donation or something like that. We are promoting every single National Scout Organization have 60% of their incomes from their own incomes, from the fees paid by the membership. 30% of their incomes coming from their own business, and the last 10% coming from the other sources. This is the financial model we think could provide the best guarantee level and the best results to the National Scout Organization, to be sure about they will have enough money to accomplish the mission of the Scout movement. And other element, not the last one, but another element for the models of application of the policy of institutional development is the risk management guidelines. Okay, as we talk when we see the management fields, we talk about the risk management, and we talk about the risk management of the institution by itself, and the risk management of our people, youth and adults. We talk even about the work policy of safe from harm. The safe from harm policy is another element of these models of applications. All this model of application comes to support the progress and the apply of the institutional development policy into any single National Scout organization of our region. Okay, next one, Laura, please.
We are already, we are getting to the ending of the presentation. I just wanted to ask you, here we have a question from the audience, if you can help us.
Yes, of course.
They're asking, how can we ensure that youth can participate from the government bodies and without having fees system? I think this is related to ensure how youth can be part of the government bodies, but without having, like, when they say we can only have one youth person, like
okay.
a fee members.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I don't know from where comes this question, but I really appreciate this question, because the question gives me the opportunity to talk about youth participation, the youth engagement into the institutional development spaces. Remember, when we talk about youth engagement and about youth participation, we are not talking about the roles of the youth people. We are talking about the age of them. Okay. According our regional policy of youth involvement, we need to have people down 30 years old, taking part in every single process. For example, Laura, how many years do you have? Laura?
Sorry?
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, this is an excellent example about what we are talking about. Laura is a member of the regional office. Laura has 26 years old. Laura represents the youth engagement taking part into the regional office. Every single person are down the 30 years taking part at any role into the National Scout Organization. They represent the youth engagement. For example, if in any National Scout Organization we have people with 24 years old, she is a professional of education. That person have a degree into the university as a professor, and that person is working into the training team of the National Scout Organization. That person represents the youth engagement, the youth involvement into the training team of the National Scout Organization. So we need to be very aware. We are looking for the people according their age, not according their roles. We are when we talk about the youth engagement, we are not talking about to put rubber scouts or senior scouts into the government body or in any other positions. We are talking about the youth people, not about the beneficiaries of the youth program or any other kind of people. Our youth engagement, our youth participation are defined into the base of the age, not the roles. So every single person down 30 years old, that person represents the youth engagement or youth participation at any organism, body, or a part of the structure of our National Scout Organization. Thank you, Laura, for the question.
Okay, one last question is why is it important to have institutional development policy, and is it mandatory to have it in the NSOs?
Okay. Why is important to have a national policy of institutional development? The answer is easy. Every single here, I suppose everybody is listening and seeing this presentation are scouts. For us, it's very common to have a compass and to have a map when we are moving into the forest or into an excursion or when we are going to the camp. These two tools, the compass and the map, is exactly the same at institutional level. You need to have a map as institution. That map is our strategic planning. And you need to have a compass. That compass is the policies. Every single National Scout organization need to have national plan, a map, and need to have a compass, national policies. When you have these two elements, you can achieve your goals. Without of them, you are just walking through the forest, moving to who knows where. So the results, nobody can predict what will be happen. Maybe you can have a very nice trip. Maybe you can have a nightmare. But if you have a map and if you have a compass, you can cross the forest and to have a great and nice experience. So for the National Scout Organization, it's the same. It's very important. Every single National Scout Organization have a national strategic planning and to have a national policies, because with these two elements, they can achieve success. Okay?
Okay, yes. Something else? Nothing else? Sorry. I want to finish with if you can share with us where to find the policies.
Okay. We can put into screen the link to the scout.org, to our official website, where is the not only the institutional development policy, where are all the regional policies. I really want to recommend to everybody's listen and seeing this presentation, read these policies and to think how these policies can support your work into your national scout organization to improve your goals, to improve your performance. So it's important check this kind of documents and especially apply it, and to promote, if you don't have it at national level, to promote your national executive body and your national executive government body work to produce these kind of documents, your national policies, especially the institutional development policy.
Okay, so we say thanks.
Thank you to everyone, to everyone take the time to see and to listen this presentation. We will back very soon with more information about the other issues, other relevant issues of Scout movement. And we are ready to support every single national Scout organization on your efforts to improve your performance, to reach more young people and to provide to them the best experience as is possible into Scouting.
Thank you very much, and we see each other again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everyone.